Hi, it's BK here from BK Gold Detecting. Well, it's been a while, but as you're all aware, we've been in lockdown and we've given up on any chance now of getting across to Western Australia. So now that we're out of lockdown, we've decided that perhaps we'll spend a bit of time in Victorian goldfields, just not to waste the season. So this is a good opportunity for us to make part 3 of finding your first gold nugget. I've got a few ideas, but I thought maybe coming to a new area as we have, I'll talk you through what I do when I first get here. If I'm going to be staying for a while, obviously I don't just want to be wandering around the bush. I want to find myself a patch where I know I'm going to get some gold. So I'll walk you through the steps that I take and hopefully we get onto one, but no guarantees. Okay, finally, we're all set up. This is a new spot for us and we're going to be here for a while. So what I thought I would do during part 3 is to talk you through what I do when I go to an area that I'm going to be staying at for a while. In part 1, I went to a spot where I stayed just overnight. Here we'll be staying for a week. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk you through how I would patch find, looking for a patch, and hopefully I'll find one, and then I'll explain how I work a patch to get the most out of it. Hope you enjoy. Well, it's a cold morning. This is our first morning here, and today we'll be heading out trying to find a patch. Now, I've picked this area for one particular reason. There are no major mines around here. So I'm hoping that there won't be too much junk, but what it's going to involve is a lot of walking around looking for a patch. Now, what I normally do is I'll walk a zigzag through the bush. I'll walk a straight line for maybe 100 meters, detecting as I go, and then I'll turn, I'll do a bit more, and I'll keep zigzagging around until I find my first nugget. Once I find that first nugget, invariably there's going to be more in the area. Generally there are. You won't just get one lone nugget in an area like this. So what I'll do then is I'll start drawing circles around it, and if I start to find more, well, that's when it gets interesting. You know, if you find half a dozen close together, you know you're on a patch, and then you start working a lot more carefully. But today, and it could even be for the next couple of days, the main emphasis is going to be on finding that first nugget. Oh, and most importantly, always start the day with a good breakfast. Is that right, honey?
Thank you.
Oh, so looking forward to this. The first detect for a long time due to the lockdown. Okay, here we go. When you're patch finding, you use a much faster swing speed than you do when you're actually working a patch. I mean, the idea here is to cover as much ground as possible, hoping to find that first nugget. Obviously you're not going to pick up the quiet targets, but the idea is to cover as much ground as you can in the day, because you can be doing this for days, but it's all worthwhile in the end. You know, a couple of days of walking kilometers a day, if you have to, patch finding can pay off big dividends once you do find a patch. As you're detecting, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the rocks in the area. Now I have noticed a lot of ironstone in this area, but all of a sudden I'm also finding quite a lot of quartz. Here's a good example here. Now, this is something that I love. Ironstone and quartz together is nearly always a sign of gold. So I'm quite confident that we are actually in an area that does hold gold. It's just a case now of just continuing on and having the patience to find that first piece. Here are some more great examples. Look at this. Actually a seam of quartz there right on the ironstone. More here. There just has to be gold in this area. So I tend to walk in a straight line for about 100 meters, you know, just detecting maybe a 3 meter or 4 meter wide strip. Once again, you know, with quite a fast swing rate and not being too fussed about moving sticks or anything because I just want to cover ground. But one thing that can really help, I tend to follow along the contours of a hill. There's a hill sloping down here along this way. Gold will always travel downhill. So if there's a run of gold, you have far more chances of finding it if you're following the contour of the hill. If you're walking in a straight line straight down the hill, if there's no run of gold, you won't find any on that run. But if you're following the contour, you're far more likely to actually eventually cross a run of gold that's coming down the hill. Finally, I've been patch finding since breakfast yesterday morning, nothing but ground noise, some beautiful looking ground, but no decent targets. And I'm actually on the way back to camp, not far from camp, and I've got a beautiful target here. Well, you know, there's been virtually no junk here, so everything is worth digging, and this is by far the best sound I've had yet, so let's see what we've got. Yeah, I can see it. Wow, look at that. First piece of gold for the day. Very, very rough. It's almost like crystal. It's not far from the source. Piece of ironstone on the back. That's a good sign. Be going right over this area after lunch. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Here's the rough nugget that I dug just before. And I'm only just over here, almost right next to it. Another target. Now I haven't dug it up yet, it could be junk, but this is looking promising because just down here, there's a big lump of ironstone with quartz going through it. So that last nugget was pretty rough, which tells me that it's close to the source. So this area needs to be gone right over. Oh. It's another piece of gold. Now this is really, really promising. I mean, that close together, and like I said, quartz ironstone reef here. Look, the car's only just through the bushes there, very close to where we're camped. I'm very, very happy with this. So it's back, have some lunch, and then I'm going to come and go right over this area. Well, I've come back after lunch and I'm drawing circles around where I found those other two nuggets, and wow, I can't believe this. I'm only maybe 3 meters away from the first one, underneath a bit of a bush here. Another little one. It's not very big, but I think I've got some work to do here over the next couple of days, because this is what it's all about. You know, you do the hard work early, you walk around. As soon as you find that first nugget and you do circles, if you start finding a few more, you're on a patch. So I'm quite confident now that I'm going to get a bit more here. And what really surprises me is I'm right next to the track. Many people camp here, but I think most people would walk further up the hill, 15 metres from the car. No one's really gone over this property, and the other good thing too, very little rubbish here, which is good news, because that means every time you get a target, you're quite hopeful that you're going to get something. I'll just show you on the GPS here what's going on. You can see the flag is the car, and you can see the blue area. That's where I was walking around patch finding, just wandering a path through the bush, just hoping to find that first nugget. And you can see here where that red area, that's where I'm working now. I'll just zoom in a bit. And you can see here the 3 red dots. It's 3 nuggets close together in a very small area. Each one of those squares is 10 metres by 10 metres. So they're very close together, and they're in a bit of a line. So the next thing for me to do is going to be to work around the other side of this. Well, this area here needs to be gone over very thoroughly. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull up some of the more obvious pieces of timber, throw them off to the side, because I want to try and do as much as I possibly can, every square inch if I can, right up against the bushes. Yeah, I'm quite confident we're on a patch here. Okay, while I continue clearing here, Eliza's going to go off for a wander a little bit further down the hill, and yeah, I'll come back here once I've cleared and start going over it inch by inch. Good luck, honey.
Okay, see you soon.
Well, I've been busy clearing the bush about 10 metres behind where I'm standing now, where I got the 3 nuggets, but Eliza's walked off and she's getting a bit of a signal here. First thoughts was that it was going to be rubbish, but she scraped a bit off the surface, and it's still there, so unless it's buried itself. And it is kind of in the line of where we've had the other nuggets, so we give it a go. Okay, honey, it's your turn. Oh, it's out already. Not really a good sign, but let's have a look, see what it is. You never know. Could be one close to the surface. You never know. Just tip it on the plate, honey. Tip the whole lot on the top of the plate.
I saw it.
What is it?
I saw it.
You're joking?
I'm not.
Oh wow, it just shows you, if that's gold, that was right on the surface.
Nope.
Oh wow. Beautiful. Really good. Wow, this is a good sign, because just up here, not sure if you can see, just up there is where I'm clearing at the moment, where I found the 3 nuggets before, and this one is right on the surface. I can't believe this. We're so close to the car. People have been through here. There's detector holes around, but I think a few people have walked away from what they think is junk, which is, to be honest with you, what I thought this was. Well done, Eliza. Happy?
Yep. Can you take a picture of me?
Yeah, of course I can take a picture of you. Hold up your nugget. Wow, that's bigger than the other 3. That's a really good sign, honey. That's a really good sign. Well done. Well, what a great day it's been today. After a bit of patch finding yesterday and this morning, we finally got onto the gold. 5 nuggets today, off to a great start. So hopefully over the next 3 or 4 days, we can build on that and hopefully get something a bit bigger. At the moment, they're kind of averaging about 0.5 gram, but you know, they all add up. So we're happy.